Hi, and welcome to our presentation. Before we start, let me introduce you to our team. I'm Sharnie, and with Jessica, Nhi, Sunny, and Andre, we have created this video to introduce you to our innovative idea that will have an effect on the hotel industry. Is there truly anything nicer than coming home after a long day of work? No. For a client who stays at a hotel for business purposes, they often tend to feel unsatisfied due to being so far away from home. So how can we make this better? During our discussion on how to satisfy the needs of a business traveller, we started to think outside of the box and knew that with technology advancing the way it is, we needed to find something that combines a hotel with a smartphone. So what are we introducing to you? Home Sweet Home. An app design that will make the lives of business travellers easier, as well as give them a sense of comfort which they miss from being so far away. Our purpose is to increase new and return visits of business travellers, as a returning customer is always a valuable customer. These functions of the app include the control of electronics, like the television, the lighting in the room, the temperature, all through a touch of a button controlled by the app on the smartphone device. Guests will be able to access services like room service, valet parking, and other amenities that the hotel offers, for example, like a spa treatment. All of these functions will be discussed later in the presentation when we demonstrate how this idea came to life. Customers will be able to check in and out of the hotel without even needing to visit the front desk, all by using the app, which can also double as a room key. So how will this app work? The hotel will incur a monthly fee subscription to use the app, and it will be marketed towards their business clientele, as this is a luxury that is not yet deemed necessary towards other clients. Business owners who book for their employees to stay in the hotel will have the opportunity of leaving their credit card to claim expenses such as room service, or the user of the app can enter their own banking details. What should be considered is that more services and technology the hotel has, the more effective this app will be, so it will be aimed towards a higher class hotel chain. Benefits of this app include the more personalised experience for guests, which will result in a satisfactory stay, along with the potential of guests rebooking due to this service. When coming up with this app design, we had to use the following 5 tools that allowed us to expand our thinking and bring about a creative flow. We used brainstorming and mind mapping, the 6 thinking hats, the 6 value medals. We used a tool called Scamper, and we also used the Disney creative tool. Firstly, we used brainstorming, which was a creative technique used for free thinking and expanding our ideas on a topic. The topic we chose to focus on was a business traveller and kept in mind their needs when travelling. Some ideas that we came up as a team included certain elements like fast check-ins and check-outs, working out odd hours of the day, the lack of homely feeling they experienced, tight schedules, the want of being in control, and also the other planned activities they may choose to do during their stay. After going through the brainstorming process, we moved on to the mind mapping process. This is a tool which is used to organise the ideas we get from brainstorming and identify the relationship between those ideas. This process helped us figure out what the functions of our app needed to be and what we needed to include when we identified the needs and wants of our target market. Mind mapping allowed us to question what is Home Sweet Home and why would a customer or hotel want to use it, and the kind of features that we wanted to include. For example, why would we use an app? Because it helps with time saving. Some features: using the app to book certain services. Next, we moved on to the 6 thinking hats. The 6 thinking hats is a tool that sparks discussion within the team with the use of 6 different coloured hats. Each represents a different element. There's a black hat, the white hat, the blue hat, the green hat, the red, and the yellow. Looking at the white hat, it involves data, identifying facts, and further information. For example, we found that most customers like the fact that hotels are now modernised and using technology. Next, we look at the red hat, which is associated with feelings and emotions. So, for example, they want to feel it like they're at home and they want to use those emotions. And that's something that was really important when designing this app. Next, we look at the green hat. It's all about creative thinking and generating new ideas. In order to meet different expectations from different travellers to make them feel at home, we designed an app that can be used for everybody and all types of business customers, whether it's one who's just sleeping there or one that really wants to make the best of their stay. The yellow hat explores positive views on an idea. With this app, there are so many positive ideas that we have. For example, you're able to check in and out without having to go to front desk. You can do it all by logging into the app. You can order room service and have it ready for you when you come home from a long meeting. The next hat we look at is the black hat, which represents critical thinking towards our idea, which got us thinking about factors like hotels being able to keep up with the in-room technology, and also other factors like, has this been designed before? We will touch base on this a little bit further on when we go into another creative tool. The blue hat, which was lastly looked at, is about managing processes and planning the next step. This forced us to discuss how the app will be accessed by hotels, which we came up with a monthly subscription fee, and also how we need to make sure that we design an internal app that can be accessed by front desk. Next, we moved on to the 6 value medals, where each medal represents a different way of analysing data. The 6 value medals is a very new framework for leaders, teams and individuals, and it's the key to making decisions that will deliver the maximum value that lies in creating a framework that is specific. Firstly, there's a gold medal, which is quite precious, and it asks what matters to the people. So for example, stolen personal information and having invalid bank account details and their sense of achievement and hope and trust, and all of that needs to be considered when designing this app. The silver medal impacts the organisation, and it is what matters to the organisation. Our team goal is to find a place in the hotel industry and, most importantly, doing fair trade. We don't want to compete with big companies, and we have happily allocated ourselves in a safe zone where we believe we are truly hitting the nail on a certain type of market. The steel medal must be as strong as possible. It asks us about quality. Product quality is key for every business, and we want to deliver the best product that we can in order for them to want to reuse this service. Next is the glass medal. The glass medal can take shape of many functions. Due to this being a technology-based idea, we must make sure that we're keeping up with trends and making sure that we are keeping on top of things. Next, we look at the wood medal. The wood medal has a look at the environment and to make sure that we aren't impacting negatively on it or the community and or society. Because this is an app-based product, there is no paper trail. It is quite relatively a safe invention when we're looking at the environment. The brass medal looks like gold but is not. It's about your perception. So one thing that we need to think about is the fact that the Marriott have also released an app that does similar things but is not based on a business customer. So this is where we need to make sure that our ideas are specific. Scamper is a tool that helps us explore ideas from different perspectives. It's particularly great for generating ideas for product development and is made up of 7 elements: substitute, combine, adapt, modify, put to other uses, eliminate and reverse. Firstly, we will look at combine. How can we combine other services to this app? For example, we have combined the service of a valet in order for a busy traveller to request and have delivered their car before they've even reached the lobby. We can also combine other services like laundry and spa packages. Substitute. What we are substituting is in the form of time. We are finding ways to shorten processes so that the customer can have what they desire quickly. We have substituted a room key by adding it as a feature to the app so that they can have access to their rooms. Next, we will look at adapting. Adapting focuses on asking whether there is something similar but in a different context. Some hotels have a room assistant app which gives them access to services like a wake-up call. We found some research that states that 93% of guests own a smartphone device, 85% of guests prefer an app to a website, and 63% prefer to reserve hotel services via a mobile device. Modify refers to what extra features can be added. Down the track we can look into putting a live chat to front desk and adding services like being able to give feedback, which gives customers more power over their stay. Put to other use. What other target groups can benefit? We looked at target groups like honeymooners and couples who travel for leisure. They could all benefit from the features in this app. However, they also need something a bit more privatised to them, so that's something that we can look at later on. Eliminate. How do we eliminate things? We eliminated the use of remotes in the room as all electronics are wired into the app. Reverse. Reverse is a little harder to think about. If we reverse the app, it would become very similar to brands like Booking.com, and the app would be used as a booking service rather than in addition to their stay. We have thought hard about this, and there wasn't too much we could come up when using this tool. Next, we moved on to the Disney Creative Tool. The Disney Creative Tool is based on 3 main stages, which is the dreamer, the realist, the critic. Each stage involved generating ideas and translating them into the reality. The dreamer allowed our team to share our dream with no restriction or criticisms. This helps us build a pool of creative ideas where some of these ideas are viable and others are not. This was a really helpful stage for us as it helped brought about the main idea of this app. The next stage is the realistic stage. This is where the plans are organised and evaluated to determine what is realistic, to think constructively and to devise an action plan, as well as establish timeframes and milestones for progress. The last stage is the critic, where the plan is tested, paying attention to problems and difficulties and unintended consequences, thinking of what could go wrong and what is missing and what the spin-offs would be. This is quite crucial to our planning because there are a lot of things that we do need to consider with this app. This is where we have come to our reflection on learning. All the 5 tools that we use were all helping us to focus down onto one clear idea that designed our app and allowed us to include the features that satisfied the needs of the customers and focus on the fact that we want to make their experience more homely. How did we work together? Well, finding time for 6 people to meet up all at once is almost impossible, which is why we had to make sure our communication was clear and everyone knew what their role was. For example, we used a group chat to discuss our progress as well as the challenges we were facing individually. We also made sure that we had meetings during class and used that time to brainstorm and come up with ideas to form the basis of our idea. Evidence of our group work include images of our group chat and the images of the discussion as well as the brainstorm activity that we did together. All of this shows how we worked as a team cohesively to build onto our one idea. So, in conclusion, we have come up with the Home Sweet Home app, a design to be used by hotels who wish to increase their business traveller satisfaction by offering this app as a service which will allow them to control their stay and give them a sense of comfort which they are missing from being far away from home. Thank you for your time.